Jason, welcome back to Tucson. I was just wondering, how did this opportunity happen? What were the conversations like over the last, I don't know, month and a half, 2 months that led you to this job?
Well, it actually was about a year ago. I reached out to Jack Murphy, associate head coach, and wanted to set up a breakfast lunch with Coach Miller and, kind of talk about the future of the program and seeing how I could actively get involved and possibly start my career in coaching. And at the particular time, they didn't have a position open, but we had great dialogue. We expressed both our interests in how we could help each other in the program, and that conversation led us to where we are today.
Javier, go ahead. Javier, I think you're still there. You go.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Hello, hey, Javier.
Hey, yeah, you're already coaching a team. Your family, your daughters. You have 5 daughters. Are they going to be coming here with you to Tucson?
Yeah, hopefully late in July and get them enrolled in school in August. Hopefully that's the plan, but definitely plan to bring the family.
Okay, I know that a couple of them are college age, or one of them just graduated from college. And Jalayla, she's going to ASU. How's that going to work out between you guys?
Other daughters at Arizona State, but you know what? This is going to be a tough decision for her. I feel like I want her to go to U of A, but she's on her own journey and she's had a great experience at ASU, and she'll probably continue there.
How are you guys going to work that out? On game day?
Oh no, that'll be up to her. Now she's already been on campus a year, and she's known to go around campus with U of A paraphernalia on. So remember, I don't even know if I said the right word, but yeah, she's known to have some UA gear on from time to time.
Go ahead, David.
Hey, Jason. Just how did you and Sean kind of just work through some of the concerns that you had about the program during the NCAA bribery investigation?
Yeah, I didn't even really have any concerns. My whole focus was on my career and, coming in and being an impact on our young student athletes, current, and that was it. Just being an asset to the program. I mean, pretty much as far as that is concerned, Coach assured me that, everything that was going on, they were, kind of going through their process, and they'll let that process play out how it may. So, I'm in full support of the University of Arizona in this program and the direction it's headed.
Were there specific things, though, questions you asked him about, that you wanted to know?
No, not at all. My whole thing was, are you going to be open book? Are you going to allow me to, give me that you have to learn, especially at the college level? And I just want to be a student of the game, so to speak.
Justin Spears, go ahead.
So Jason, one of the things that Sean applauded you for was, your ties to that Northwest region in the United States. What's your ties with maybe some recruits in the Seattle area, and how do you think you can really help Arizona in that category?
Well, obviously, I'm a huge presence in the Seattle area. As a tight-knit group, I still have family there. Last week, so I'm trying to get caught up on what they already have done and who they're looking. Just excited to be on. And that guy from the area was Marcus Williams. And so Previous to that, it was myself, Michael Dickerson. Damon was from Portland. So tapping back into the.
Hey, Jason, are you able to see if your phone will just if you hold your phone closer to your mouth, because it's there you go. That's a little bit better. We've been losing you quite a bit during some of the questions and the answers. I don't know if you're on the Bluetooth in the car or not.
At the stop sign on East Ridge of Vistosa Boulevard.
All right, we got you back a little bit.
Just use it on your phone.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, do you want to, if you can, like try holding it maybe a little bit closer, because it's a little bit garbled for us.
Hold on. Turn off the Bluetooth on the deal.
There. That's a lot better.
Okay. I didn't hear any of that last answer.
Yeah. I was gonna ask if you want to repeat the question, and we'll try again.
Get it on speakerphone.
Yeah, do it on speakerphone
Yeah.
instead of this.
Yeah, I don't know how to get it on speakerphone.
Are we all good?
Give it a shot.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
No, so Jason, I'm wondering if you could just repeat that answer. Considering you have, Seattle ties, and there's a lot of talent coming out of that area. I mean, how do you think you can help out that area, and what's your ties like right now as a coach?
Well, for me, I mean, the last guy we had come out of the Northwest was Marcus Williams, I believe, and so, before that it was Michael Dickerson, myself, Damon Stoudemire, that Northwest area. And we know it's a hotbed for recruiting and talent. And so that is definitely one of the areas that I will try to tap into, knowing my presence there, knowing that, I'm a guy in that community, in that area that a lot of kids and families look up to. So definitely excited about that.
Go ahead, Paul.
Hello, Jason. Sorry about that. Congrats once again for coming back here to the old Pueblo. We all know that you have extensive ties here in Tucson at the University of Arizona. And I was wondering, what's your relationship in this day and age with Coach Lute Olson? And when you were hired, I'm assuming you probably had some sort of conversation with him. And what was Coach Lute Olson's reaction to you coming back to being a part of the University of Arizona program again?
Well, Coach O and I have a great relationship. And obviously his struggles with his health right now are well publicized. And I hadn't talked to him since I've gotten the job. But once I step foot in Tucson, it'd definitely be the first guy I go visit him. Right now, obviously under the circumstances, COVID, and not really wanting to put anyone at risk is first and foremost. So, but I mean, I'm sure as soon as this kind of passes, I'll be able to go, meet him face to face, give him that big old JT hug, and we'll have a great conversation.
Thank you.
Bruce, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Jason, welcome back again. I just wanted to ask you, it was a little garbled on that question David asked you earlier about the tweet. When you tweeted back when that ESPN report came out about Arizona needed a clean house, and obviously the emotions were high at that point. The reason I wanted to clarify it was too, Coach Miller said that you guys felt you really repaired the relationship, and I was kind of wondering how and when that happened actually. I mean, did you actually, because I think it was as soon as maybe even less than a year later, it seemed like you guys were okay. So I was just wondering when that all happened.
Oh yeah, I can't recall exactly when it was, but once I realized the impact of the statement I made, I had to call him directly and kind of, tell him, look, I'm attached to this program as much as anybody, and I care about the tradition, the history, and all of that. It was an emotional tweet, and I told him it was nothing personal towards him at all, and so we repaired that situation, and Coach and I are definitely on the same page. I'm a huge Sean Miller supporter.
what he's done for our program has cemented his legacy in Arizona Wildcat history, and he will continue to build. And I'm just happy to be a part of that building process.
Steve, go ahead.
JT, good to see you.
Good to see you.
How has the game changed in 20 years since you were last here, or has it?
Well, the game has really changed because offensively, the kids now have much more versatility. There's not a lot of position, so we call it positionless basketball. But now you have a day and age where 1 through 4 and possibly even 5 at times can really facilitate and get you into your offense. It also gives you versatility on the defensive end, allowing you to do switching, man-to-man concepts. You can throw out a variety of zone defenses. It just makes your attack much more versatile on both ends of the floor. And so watching that, man, I can just tell you, like, I know we were skilled. We played at a high level. But these kids nowadays, man, they are so much more advanced and much more well-rounded as far as a skill level is concerned.
Hey, Jay, if I could, I'll just follow up real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
You're back in your it's kind of your second home. You good? How are you connected? I'm sure you're going to have a good time with the locals. Are you going to be connected to the city at all during your time here?
Oh, no doubt about it. Obviously, the Tucson community had a huge part of supporting me. Not only when I was here, but even when I was gone and playing off in the NBA, I would come back and host summer camps. So we'll be very visible within the community. Community outreach is huge to me. It's always been in every community that I've been a part of. So yes, we will be very visible and hope to have a lasting impact on the Tucson community.
Thanks, Jake.
Alec, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Jason. Alec White here. I just want to get your thoughts on what you've had a chance to see, scouting wise from this year's roster. Have you been able to talk to any of the players that are going to be on the team this year, and kind of what do you think of the makeup of the team right now?
Well, I've been watching tons of film, not only on our returning guys, but also the guys that we're bringing in, and it's a very talented group. The one thing about this group is, we'll have versatility at all the spots. Our guard position is heavy, but also you have high IQ basketball players that have played at a high level. If you talk about the international flavor that we've added to our roster, I mean, all these guys have played, at a high level over in their native countries. And so I'm excited, man. It was good to, kind of see guys on the Zoom call. We've been tapping in here the last couple of days, checking on guys' well-being, their mental state. Obviously, there's a lot going on within society right now, within all our communities, and we just wanted to make sure everyone was safe and well. As far as, kind of watching them work out, all guys have different luxuries, than the others. So, some guys are in the weight room. Some guys are out, in their backyard. Some guys are at the park trying to get it in. So, just watching guys, the work that they're putting in, and, just connecting everyone. We think that's going to be huge for us because we do have a roster that has not been together. So chemistry is something that we're going to have to build upon every single day, but we wanted to start now. So connecting those guys, getting them familiarized with each other, and allowing them to communicate over those Zoom calls has been key for us.
Jacob, go ahead next.
Yeah, my question was super similar to Alex, but is there any player in particular that you're extra excited to work with?
You know what? We're all new, so I'm excited to work with the whole group, man. I mean, if I had to pick one, I really couldn't. The guards are heavy. We got some skilled bigs. It's just, I can't really pick one. I mean, I'm excited to get my hands on the whole group, and hopefully that will come sometime in July if we can get these restrictions lifted.
Javier, go ahead.
Hey, Jason. I remember when I covered you guys, 97, the way between you and Bennett, the way you guys were able to keep guys loose. Just comment about your role now as an assistant coach and how the important it's going to be for the guys that use you as a sounding board, not only your basketball knowledge, which is immense, but just the personal aspect of being able to relate to the players.
Well, I think that'll be a huge role for me as I get started. I mean, obviously being a mentor for these guys is very key, not only on the court, but in life, you know, the life skills, giving them life lessons, you know, kind of giving them examples of what I went through in my college experience as I prepared to become a professional. So, you know, all that knowledge will be spewed to these guys every single day. And then from a mental development aspect, I think the one thing about these guys is that they're all talented. They all have the ability to play at the next level. But what separates good from great is the mental mindset that you carry every single day. And so, you know, that's something that I'll take on head first and, you know, really, really tap into their mental approach to the side of the game.
Scott, go ahead.
Hey, Jason, switching tracks a little bit. I'm from the CBS in Milwaukee. I just wanted to know what your thoughts were on the way the NBA is resuming the season. And obviously, you know the mentality of a lot of those guys in Bucks locker room and Giannis. How do you think they can come out in the right way in a few months?
I'm very excited that the NBA is getting an opportunity to get back out and finish kind of what they started. The momentum that they have built up going into the season and as the season progressed was tremendous. This was one of the greatest basketball seasons that I've seen in my years being a part of the NBA. And I want to see a completion to it. And hopefully it'll be a little different, as will everything around the world. But it's going to be good to see those guys back out there competing. Hopefully, you know, they can get some safety precautions put in so no one is, you know, affected health-wise. But the fact that they are going to finish the season out and put an end to, you know, what they started is going to be fun to watch. And then, again, to talk directly about your question about Milwaukee, obviously my 2 years in Milwaukee was phenomenal. Jason Kidd was a great mentor to me, preparing me for this day as I become a coach. And then watching the growth and development of Giannis from an all-star to an MVP and now to a championship title contender. This is something that I've seen on a first basis. I've seen it every single day. I've seen the work that he put in. I've seen the study habits. I've seen the sweat, the tears. I mean, I was right there with him, man. So I'm like a proud brother, so to speak. And hopefully he'll get his chance to play for that prize, because the one thing I say about Giannis is from day one, he had that Larry O'Brien trophy planted on his screensaver on his phone. And that meant a lot to me. You know, a lot of the guys at that age aren't really concerned about winning a championship. And you understand why Giannis is the player he is today, because he plays the game the right way.
Bruce, go ahead.
Hey, Jason, so I looked, according to one of the reports I saw, you've made a total of $108 million playing in the NBA. I guess the big picture question I'm wondering is, you know, with all that in the bank and the life you've had in the NBA, you don't need this. Do you really want to work a job where you're, you know, it's 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week, whatever? And how did you get there to wanting to do this?
Well, my passion from day one is for impacting lives, right? I mean, we can say coach, but at the end of the day, it's about impacting these young student athletes' lives, giving them guidance, giving them somebody that has been there before, that has done that, who's experiencing the things that they're going to experience, and then putting them in position to be successful, not only on the court, but in life. And so that is my purpose. I'm a God-fearing man, and God has given me that purpose. And it's something that I've extremely prepared. I've worked extremely hard for in preparation for this day. I coached AAU girls basketball for 12 years, every single offseason for the last 12 years when I was in the NBA. And so, I mean, I'm a coach through and through. I know my family is going to be like, you want to go back to something you just retired from? But it's in me. I mean, you know, coaching is something that you have to truly believe in. Like you said, you mentioned the hours. Yeah, there's going to be long hours, but the joy and the gratification I get is when I see these young men become fathers, husbands, better sons. That's going to be the ultimate joy for me. College graduates, like, that's where I'm going to get my gratification. And at the end of the day, we hoist up another national championship in the McHale, then that'll be a great day.
CJ, go ahead.
Jason, how you doing, man? Happy you're back here in Tucson. You know, what you just mentioned is actually what I wanted to ask you about. You know, a lot of people are writing that, oh, Jason's coming in with no prior coaching experience, but you've been involved in the women's game. Like you just said, you've been coaching women's basketball for 12 years. You have experience coaching on the AAU level too. How's that prepared you for this new opportunity at Arizona?
Well, the one thing about coaching grassroots AAU basketball, you get adept at the recruiting process, and you understand, like, you know, there's certain guidelines and rules that you have to go by, you know, the compliance aspect of it. You know, obviously I'm on the other side now, but even then, you know, helping them qualify, test scores, like all that played a part in what I was doing. I sent over division in 12 years. I mean, so you know, I've been hands-on in that process. The other thing about it is, whether it's men or women, to me, it's the same thing. I mean, it's impacting lives and showing people how to become the best versions of themselves. And so from that aspect, it's second nature to me. The other part of it is, if you talk about the X's and O's and the tedious day-to-day work, I mean, I was on the job training my last 4 years, 2 years in Houston under Coach Kevin McHale, and then under Jason Kidd in Milwaukee for 2 years. I was coaches meeting, and then my last year, you know, I've had a lot of great mentors along the way.
Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, so you have a familiar face on the roster right now in Terrell Brown, your godson. I mean, what's it like, you know, having him on the roster, being able to coach him, and how would you describe his career up until this point?
Well, he's had a phenomenal career. I mean, you're talking about a kid that I literally changed his diapers back in Seattle growing up, you know, and so, you know, didn't know that he would have an opportunity to play at the University of Arizona, but, you know, and he was having a great career where he was at, finished up at Seattle U, but he graduates and gives himself an opportunity to showcase his talents at the highest level. And I've always thought highly of him and his talents. And he's proven time and time again at whatever level it's been that he's a winner and he can lead a team, and he has all the potential to take his game to the next level after this one. So, you know, I'm excited and happy for the kid to get an opportunity to play, you know, somewhere where I had a great experience at.
Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Coach Terry. Welcome back. I've got one kind of silly question and one serious one. Just out of curiosity, what city are you in right now, and where are you driving to? And then, when
I was in Tucson, I can honestly tell you I've never seen this road that I'm on, but I'm actually in town looking for somewhere to stay. And I would think it's Oro Valley, but I'm not quite sure. Now, I'm heading like towards Phoenix now because that's where my plane is taking off from. But we are definitely not on I-10. It's a side road, and I'm not driving, so I don't want to say anything about my wife, but I think she's lost.
Okay, so you're on your way to Phoenix. And then just because we've got a much better connection now, can you just
I'm on my way to
Terrific. Just because we've got a better connection now, I'm hoping, we just kind of missed the part where you reached out to Coach Miller, you said at first, about joining the staff. When exactly did that happen? And just take me through that again, please.
Well, I reached out in the fall, early fall, like late summer, reached out to Coach Murph, you know, who was the associate head coach. And, you know, I told him my aspirations of wanting to coach, and if there was any opportunity to join the staff, there was something I would like to explore. And he said, well, you know what, let's talk to Sean. And so he set up, I believe it might have been in September, maybe, late September. He set up a lunch, I believe, with Coach, and Coach welcomed me with open arms. I mean, it was an easy conversation. Talked about the roster he had that particular year, and then he definitely explained to me about they did not have a position for me, but he would keep me in mind. Let's continue our talks. Invited me out to a couple games. I mean, I think I was at the Baylor game at Baylor, and then as crazy as it sounds, I was literally at the Pac-12 tournament, and Coach Murph had invited me to speak to the team before that second round game. And right before that game, man, they canceled the game, got everybody out of Vegas. And so I never got to speak to the team, but I continued to call Coach. I would continue to text and call Murph. And then, the spot opened up, man. And, man, I was the first one in line. I'll tell you that, to get the opportunity. And, I got to thank Coach and Murph for giving me this opportunity and making my dream become a reality and get me started on my coaching career.
Hey, Jason, if you can hear me, I was wondering, in the way, one of the things that strikes me about the way things have changed is guys are in such a hurry to get to the NBA after a year now. You stayed for 4 years and had an incredibly long career. When you look back on it, do you feel like you would have been able to stay in the NBA as long as you did, if you had left earlier? I mean, and could that maybe relate to some players today, or do you feel like it's just different the way these guys are thinking now?
Well, you got to understand, when you're talking to me, I'm an overly confident guy, so I believe if I had came out my junior year after we won the national championship, after that junior year we lose in the Elite Eight, I think I would have continued to work, put the work in, and I may have had a long career. Maybe it's not as long, but pretty good career. But I'm telling you, that fourth year for me with Coach Olson giving me all the confidence to run my own team, to be in charge, to be held accountable for wins and losses and the success of our team, it prepared me. It prepared me for my rookie year. It prepared me for my fifth year when I got to Dallas, when I was chosen to replace Steve Nash, and basically for the rest of my career. So I wouldn't change my direction or path for anything. I mean, because 4 years at the University of Arizona, that's something that I've preached to some of these kids. It was value. It was tremendous value for me, not only on the court, but off the court as I became a father, as I became a husband. It just really turned me into a man. And so, but what I will preach to these young student athletes that come to U of A is that each guy's journey is different, and so I can give you my experiences, but you have to walk the walk, you have to live it. And so, like I said, I'll be that guiding light, but at the end of the day, it's going to be your journey. So take ownership in it, and whatever decision you make, we'll be here to support you.
All right, guys, I think given where he's at on the highway, we're probably about to lose him, so I don't think we're going to have time for any more. So we can try to look for something maybe with Jason again later in the summer when he's on campus or something and get a little better audio for guys. But I think for now, we'll make it right there.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks,
All right,
Jason.
thank you, fellas. Bear down. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe.
Thanks a lot, Jason.
Take care, Jason. Thanks.